Hi, Mr. Andrew here, and I'm doing a request video over integers. So here we're going to cover again the addition and subtraction of integers just to elaborate further. So here, if I encounter an expression which I have before me, the first thing I have to do is find any minus and negatives. If I have a minus a negative, that is the opposite of the opposite. That is the original. That is positive. So minus a negative is positive. So right here, this minus a negative 6, which I will circle in a nice little red color, this is what I'm looking for. That is exactly what I'm looking for, minus a negative. You often see it as minus parenthesis negative because negatives are often contained within parentheses to set them apart. But here, minus a negative, you always want to view that as a positive. So I'm going to change that to a big old positive and just carry down the integer or the number. So the 6 comes down, minus a negative, that's really positive. Then everything else comes down. Okay? Now here is where it gets interesting. Okay? Now, what you want to do is not think of this is a minus and this is addition. This is subtraction, this is addition. Think about it as that's a negative number, that's a negative number, that's a negative number. Even though it looks like a subtracting a positive, really subtracting a positive, that's a negative. You're going down. You're going to the left on the number line. So here, negative, 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 positive, positive. So here, what we have to do is we got to say same sign or different signs. All right? I'm going to show you working left to right, and I'm going to show you a quick version that you'll like at the end, okay? So here, negative 5 and negative 2, same sign, I add and keep the signs. So 5 and 2, that adds to 7, and it's negative. I can really think about this, again, as combining things. I don't want to think about this as adding a negative and I have to do this. I'm combining a negative with a negative, it'll get more negative. So here, if I have 5 negatives and I have 2 negatives, altogether that's 7 negatives. So I'm going to copy down the rest. Now here, negative 7 minus 3. Again, don't think subtraction. Think I'm combining 2 negative numbers. So because they're both negative, because they will both drive us to the left, on the left of the number line, negative 7, negative 3, those combine to be negative 10. Plus 4, plus 6. Okay, now here we're looking at this, and I know some of you might see the answer, but let's go ahead and play it all out. Negative 10, if I see that and I want to add a 4, well, this is a negative, this is a positive. Now instead of same sign, add, keep the signs, I have a different rule. I have the other rule, which is if they are different, I want to subtract their magnitudes or their sizes, not their actual. I want to just see this as a 10 and I want to see this as a 4. I want to find the difference between them, which is 6. And then because I had more negatives, this will be more negative. It really works nicely with a numbered line. If I'm negative 10 and I go forward to the right 4 spots, I will then be at negative 6. But here I carry down the plus 6 because we haven't used that yet. And now here's a property. Negative 6 plus 6. Because they are directly opposite of each other, they will cancel out and be 0. It's like negative 6 annihilates the 6. They are 0. If I go to the left 6 and to the right 6, I'm back to where I started, which is 0. Okay, so here's a quicker way of doing it. So once I get to this part right here, again, you always want to change minus a negative to a positive. If I come to this part right here, I can say I have negatives and I have positives. So I'm going to draw this out to the side here. Let's separate that out. So if I have negatives, I have a negative 5, I have a negative 2, and I have minus 3, which is technically negative. That will send you to the left. And then things I'll send you to the right, things that are positive, are the 4, and you want to add to that the 6. Sorry. Now negative 5 plus 2 is 7, or negative 5 minus 2, 7, negative 7. Another negative 3 is negative 10. 4 plus 6 is positive 10. So here, these negative 10, positive 10, these cancel each other out, again, for the same reason, because they are opposites, and this is 0. So really, if you have an expression of several different numbers, you can take them, put your negatives together, put your positives together, and then just put those two together. Because same signs, you add and keep the sign, you just add up your negatives and you add up your positives. It's really a little bit trickier when you're dealing with different signs. And then you have to find the difference, and the sign depends on what you had more of. Okay, so I hope this video elaborated further, and I hope it helps out. Thank you.